welcome everybody. Today we're going to talk about physical media. It's a pretty hot topic right now, and I'd just like to give my input on basically the situation and how I personally feel like I overcame the need for pushing the agenda of physical media. Not to be clear, this doesn't mean that I'm going to sell off my physical games. It doesn't mean that when I go to buy a game, if I can purchase it physically, I obviously will. I love physical media. I still will collect it and all that stuff. I have no investment in the future of it. I could care less, basically, about the future of physical media. And I'm sure that's gonna anger some people, but I don't care. Because at this point, I've kind of have a revelation and realized how stupid I feel like a lot of us look on the whole topic of physical media. So anyway, we're gonna jump right in. Here's kind of my 3-process scenario of what happened to me and what got me from a diehard, if I saw someone purchasing something digital I went off. Alan Wake 2, being a digital release only. I was as gung-ho physical as you could get. So I'm just going to walk you through my kind of what happened. So to start it all off, me and a friend of mine were communicating, and he had brought up the 13-year-old that defeated Tetris, the first one to do it, which is amazing. Way to go, kid. Anyway, we were discussing that, and obviously shortly after that was brought up the news lady that basically shamed him, however you want to put it, on the news. And I didn't really put much into it. I hadn't dove into that or watched much. Just not my thing. I don't look at negative stuff basically the most. I try and more positive stuff. So I wasn't even going to see what she said, anything like that. But he watches, and I do watch a lot of Asmon, and he mentioned his response to it. So I obviously went and watched the video, and he summed it up pretty much great. It didn't matter. Like, that's not, who cares, is basically the end result. Like, people don't like stuff. Oh god. That's like joggers getting upset that you don't like jogging. They don't care. Like, why would they care? So the fact that this lady doesn't like video games or respect them, like, that really means nothing. Not caring about something is fine. It really shouldn't affect if you like it. So once I kind of wrap my head around that, which I always have, opinions are opinions. So I've never taken it to heart, but when you get vested into something like physical media, you can, get emotional and act differently than that. So anyway, that was the first process of the whole thing, is just we were talking about that and how it really don't matter. And it made me think of, my parents and grandparents, and there's a lot of older people that, man, they could care less what I have. They think I'm an idiot for owning arcade machines or whatever it is, okay? Whatever. I don't care. That doesn't bother me at all. So fast forward a couple days, and here's where step 2 comes in and kind of hits. Is my daughter started a job. This would have been a couple months ago. I've been wanting to do this video for a while. Hence why the reference to the 13-year-old, which is old news. My daughter got a job recently, and so she's getting her own money. Well, I walked into her room, and I found her, basically, long story short, playing Grand Theft Auto 5, which I don't care. And you guys can all hate, oh, mature game. She's 15, like, whatever. Not even worried about that. What got me though is she purchased it on Steam, and my jaw just dropped. I have at least 5 physical copies. You could play it on the Xbox, the PS5. I have it on the PS3. Like, I have. So my jaw dropped, and I just started like trying to shame her about it and going off, "Yo, you're the problem," and blah blah blah. And it bounced off. She laughed at me. It meant nothing to her. And that kind of hit. I was like, "Man, you're the problem." I'm trying to, and it's all in good fun. I mean, she was literally laughing at me, trying to shame her, generation shame her, basically, that they are the downfall of the physical media and stuff. And so after that, it took me a little bit, but it was very clear that they just don't care. Like, she did not care that I have 5 physical copies right here that she could have popped in and played, and she still was going to buy it digitally. They just don't care, which, okay. So when I joined those two things, basically what happened is I realized, and here's step 3. Basically, I was being the news lady, like we all are. We're out here, like, throwing a hissy fit over physical media and it doesn't matter. No one cares. Like, the only people that you're preaching to are other people that care about physical media. The people buying digital and the future generations, they're not listening to your rants or you're seeing your memes or whatever it is that you guys are trying to force on them. And show me one young YouTuber that's pro physical. Like, how young? Or like under 30, under 25? I'm doubting. I mean, they might be a little pro physical just because of maybe a concept, but it's not a thing. And here we are just spewing like, "Oh, you guys suck and you're the problem," and all this stuff, which, hey, they are the cause. They are, that is what's driving digital. But I would rather not create a rift in the generations of gaming. Like, if you look back, magazines everything's gone digital. So people make this argument, "Oh, video games are different." No, it's proven. Like, no, they're not. You can hold on and you can rant as much as you want, but it doesn't matter. The people that you think you need to get through to, they don't care. When have you seen a post from someone who is pro digital that like makes fun of physical media collectors? Like, you only see it one way. The people that are buying digital, they're not out. They don't care if you buy physical. You could go do whatever you want because you don't matter. You're not relevant. I'm not relevant. In the scheme of the future of video games, I am not relevant. So that's what happened. That was my revelation, is I was wasting so much energy on something that A, was going to happen anyway, and B, the people that you would think, the only people that it would affect anyway, they're not listening. Like, you were literally wasting energy for no reason when you could actively be looking for ways to engage with the next generation in gaming. Like, if they're going to game digitally, then hey, here we go, I'm going to try and play games with them. I'm not going to, oh no. And that type of stuff. I seen a meme today. Someone like, "Oh, dudes that buy digital games, and it was a picture of like Sonic in tights or something, basically trying to. And I'm just thinking, okay, you just literally shit on every boy from the age of 6 to probably 20. Like, okay, do any of them care? No. So I don't understand, like, and then they act, oh, you guys get offended. Well, A, I don't care. I'm just bringing this up for reference. But B, again, you never see the posts the other way. You don't see anyone posting, oh, physical, or making videos. Oh, physical media is bad and but that doesn't exist. So the only people offended, in my opinion, are the people pro-physical. And you're just, you're the one offended that it's not going your way and digital's not listening. Like, I understand, but if you think they're offended or anyone else is offended about, like, your opinion on that stuff when you're the ones pushing it, that's not the case. That it's just not. So basically, long story, again, wrap up. I'm not selling my physical stuff. If I can purchase games physically, great. I'm just done wasting any energy, or I really just don't care. If they keep releasing them physically, if it stops, it stops. If it doesn't, great. But I can tell you, instead of, getting so worked up, we should maybe go communicate with some of the younger people and see what they're doing. Why? Yeah, I mean, if they're not into physical games, like, let's just let that be the biggest rift there is. It's just silly. I don't understand why we want to die on that hill. Like, VHSs, cartridge-based games, I mean, music, everything's changed. And so I just see a lot more in the last year of people really, vetting for physical media. And I just see a lot of posts, and this ages me horribly, but like a lot of Facebook posts, memes, dumb stuff in groups that are just so out of touch with reality. I feel like they are in this delusion that the digital people are out to get the physical people, and in reality, the digital people don't even know the physical people exist. Like, they're not even it's apples and oranges to them. And if you don't believe me, you need to go talk to some teenagers. I mean, I don't know what else to tell you. The proof is all there. This is just a matter of opinion at this point, of if you want to believe it or not, and how hard you want to push for it. But I see so many, and I see people that just, they're actively, like, aggressive, and I was too. Again, I was pissed. Alan Wake 2 was even recommended for Game of the Year or whatever it was, and it's a digital release only. Oh, super pissed. Super pissed. Now? No. I mean, I'd download it and play it. I mean, am I gonna let digital stop me from progressing with this, is basically the bottom line. And the answer is no. Again, I would rather play games with my kids, and if it's digital, it's digital. If it's physical, it's physical. Yeah, that's about it. So let me know what you think. I'm sure a lot of people think that people like me are probably the problem, and you're right, we are the problem. Even though I said I would buy physical as long as they offer it, but the digital's coming. It's already here. You can hold on to it as long as you want, but even most physical games, though, out of my Switch collection, I know a lot of them that require, even though they're with the cartridge, they have day one patch type stuff. So where is this argument? Where and at what level are you trying to? You're just talking at this point. Where are you going to go with this? You need to think higher level than that, and no company is going to be doing that. They're laying off. What needs to happen is, instead of this physical media, digital media discussion, the discussion we need to be having is the digital ownership type stuff, okay? If we want to talk about like subscription compared to digital ownership, how long should companies have to guarantee licensing rights, stuff like that. These are the conversations we should be having with our kids and, next generations. Not, you're an idiot, only buy physical goods. Because that's just not going to happen. So again, I'd love to hear, I would prefer purchasing individual games digitally when we get to that point over a subscription-based policy, such as like Game Pass, something like that gives you, kind of like the Netflix experience. Okay, you pay this a month and you're allowed to play these games, but they're never yours per se, or they're never yours. But I meant per se on the part of, even if you digitally buy them, they're never, yours per se. But I would prefer that. An individual, hey, this game I purchased at least for 10 years, I know I can play that. Over a subscription that rotates, you never know, and you have really no control over. So that's the kind of conversations we should be having. Also, with that, I also feel like we need to talk about, on the digital front, if we are to and I know this goes against a lot of, consoles, exclusives, blah, blah, blah. But if we want to have a serious conversation about how to make digital viable, is we need to come up with a universal way to play games. And that sounds scary, almost kind of like a one operating system or console to rule them all. But realistically, that's what would have to happen, is you would get far better reception. And I know they don't want to do this because they'll just sell it on each platform, but this is why we need to talk, because they're going to continue to sell them on each platform. But it'd be great is if, okay, we'll go to an all digital, landscape, but the games are universal. When you purchase this game for a 10-year license, you can play it on your PS5, your Xbox One. Somehow you would make everything a universal format, to where you could play it on any of your modern technology, be it a phone, tablet, Switch, PS5, or whatever it is. That would give added value to, in my opinion, the digital imaginary thing you own. Whereas right now it's all gated behind you purchase this and it's on this specific console or platform, and that's it, and there's no way to integrate it or move it from that console to the PC or however. Now, I know Xbox and some of them obviously have some overlap, but I mean just a flat universal, if they just give each other, build games on to where they'd work on them all. These are the conversations we should be having, or else in 10 years we're going to be running into problems based on this info that nobody talked about because we are still having the physical media talk. All right, so that was a longer rant than I expected, but let me know below what you think, if you agree, if you disagree, if you hate my idea, whatever. I have no problem having, being told something different, or I consider myself pretty open-minded. If you can show me a point where I am totally incorrect in that somehow physical media must live on, and it will live on, and you can show all the reasons why and how the future generation will realize it and it'll all just be better. Okay. I think that's delusional. And to be clear, so the video game preservation, let's talk about that. That's digital. They take the games, hyper rare. Oh, this is a one of a kind, or there's 3 known boards or cartridges. And to preserve that, they rip the ROMs or pull the ROMs, copy them, and save them digitally. So the physical media isn't the actual preservation. Like in, 500 years. Nah, that's pretty short. 1,000 years. Like, the game preservation will not be this. It'll be look it up, click the game, know the stuff. So I just don't see an argument for the physical besides we want, which, okay, but you're just spewing at the people that you should be trying to bond with. You're splitting the whole game, like, right down the middle for no other reason but besides how they purchase their game. Not the types of games they like, no other basis, but just how they purchase the game. That's crazy. That is crazy. Anyway, I gotta go. Let me know down below. Catch you later.